Like what I was saying in my last video, in conclusion to it, and I don't know if it's conclusion, but to continue my last video, what I was actually saying at the end of World War II, well, it would appear to many people that the British Empire came to an end. It would appear to many people that the Nazi in Germany were defeated, that they came to an end. None of that is true. All of those, the British Empire, that German and Nazi Empire, and all they did was cloak themselves and transform into the American Empire. The American Empire is headquarters is still America. It's still America. I mean, it's still Britain. Excuse me. The American Empire home base is still the city of London, Britain. And then Germany is still the technological and scientific base of, the Nazis that were in Germany started most of the technical space engineering. It's still home base. It's still in Germany, German engineering. Ashkenazis are Germanic Jews. That's what they are, Germanic Jews. And so when you take Israel, which is the granddaughter of America, the daughter of America, and then of Germany. Tighten up. Okay, Israel is the granddaughter of Britain. America is the daughter of Britain, and Germany is like the great grandmother or the grandmother on the other side of them all. Britannica and Germania are two parts of what was left of the Roman Empire. When the Roman Empire broke up, Germany and Britain used to be called Germania and Britannia, or parts of the Roman Empire. And they have all cloaked themselves and transformed into the American Empire. And that's how you got to look at it. And what I was saying in that video, what I was trying to get at is to understand our plight here in America and the plight and the global plight of citizens all across America. You must understand that all of those nations, the citizens that were ruling those nations are the Zionists. Those are the Ashkenazi Jews, the Zionists. The Zionists were in Germany. Hitler and the Nazis were Zionists. The Zionists were in Britain. The Zionists were in America, and the Zionists are the ones that's bombing Palestinian. And to understand why America gives all these billions to Israel, because they're one and the same creature. They're the beast called Zionists, the synagogue of Satan, all of them. And that's the American Empire, is the synagogue of Satan, the Zionists. That's the particular state. It's cloaked itself under corporate America now, and so it continues to cloak itself to escape, the legality and the labor and the citizens from catching up to it. It cloaks itself to hide money. The monies that's gone missing from America, the monies that the debt that America's in. That is a manifesto of the synagogue of Satan. They said that that we are all Goya. They were going to enslave America and enslave the world, and that we are going to be debt slaves working for them. And that is exactly what is going on now. You go Google the synagogue of Satan. Go Google what their plans were, what their manifesto is, and what they say they're going to do to the world. And that's what's exactly going on. The crisis now of the world, it's not a crisis. The money in the trillions are still there. They just stole them. It's energy that they've stolen. We over here working our ass off as American citizens, and they taxing the shit out of us, and their taxation is nothing more than stealing. And they have stole trillions. They've stole trillions of energy, and the Zionists were the ones in the Atlantic slave trade. That's them. They stole all the free money. Then they stole, and when the central banking started in 1919 in America, as soon as they got the central banking going after the Titanic was sunk, that's them. They put America in the Great Depression and stole all of that money. 100 years ago, they started central banking in America around World War I, and just about 10 years later, they stole all the money out of the system. Right after they got that central bank going, they stole all the money. That's them. And then they came right back with those Roosevelt program and turned us into debt slaves. The straw man. Into the and the same thing with the Federal Reserve. How we are in debt to the Federal Reserve because it lends money. That's them. They lend money to countries. They lend money to the United States. That's a private bank. That has nothing to do with the federal system in America. That's a private bank that lends money to United States, and it's centralized in our country, the Federal Reserve. And that's them, the Zionists, the Nazi Jews. That's who we are enslaved to. That's what this crisis comes from. And that's why I said to understand the crisis and to put it all together, you got to go all the way back to World War II. Even beyond that, you can go all the way back to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand when they got kicked out. When those particular ones got kicked out of Eastern Europe and they had to come to the Americas. And that was the start of America. And that was the start of what is known as, see, anytime you hear them isms, what is known as capitalism. When it was in Russia, what was it called? Communism. When it was in Germany, what was it called? Nazism. All those isms is them Zionists, the Zionists. As soon as you hear ism, capitalism, they started capitalism and they started the American Empire. Then they started racism. That's them. All the isms come from the Zionists. It's a part of their rule. Anti-Semitism. That's them. So you got to understand that war, that Holocaust story, and who those people are. And when you do understand it, and then you go digging into what they said, what their plans was for the world, you'll see how we got here. You'll know who's ruling over us, how they got here, and you'll see all their tricks. As long as you study history, like I say, you gotta think like Cain, not like Abel, and you go back into history, not being a jealous killer. And you'll see them. You'll see them hiding. They hide themselves in history. You'll see through all their history. But if you don't try to find them, you'll find nations or citizenships of countries, and you'll be saying, "Oh, the British went into South Africa," or you'll be saying, "The German citizens did this," and you won't understand that those people were isms in those countries. Nazism, them. Communism and the Bolshevik Revolution. That's them. Nazi Jews. And all you have to do is know the key phrases and you know their MO. And anytime you see war and the tricks of war, that's them. They're warlike people. So I only do that to understand this crisis that's coming and that the world seems to be in, and I don't know whether it's even a real crisis or whether it's, like a storm that's man-made or a crisis that was man-made to put you more in debt. Some things, the way they set up, they engineer a social system or economic system, and the way when they finish with the engineering of it, you end up in a trap, a debt trap, and that's what we're in. The American dream ain't nothing but a damn debt trap. Anytime you tell somebody that they need to go buy a house and 2 cars and a German engineering and a Mercedes and then you live in a large house and they need to have all these fancy cars and look, and then get caught up in white supremacy. White supremacy. You get them. That ain't nothing but Nazism. That ain't nothing but a trick. To trick you. The American dream is a trap. It's a trap you into debt. That's all it is. So I wanted to do that and give you a clear understanding of why we're in this situation and what we're dealing with and who are the culprits. Who are the culprits. And it's not for me to, they say you can't use the word Jew. You don't have to use the word Jew to deal to see these people in history. You really don't. Because they really are not Jews in Judaism. I mean, they are, but that's not really, that's not really what they are or who they are. They just hide behind that. Who they are is who they are. And you have to understand that. And so you don't have to call them any names or anything. You just have to know the people themselves and who they are and what they stand for and what their plans are, and what's their MO. And once you know their MO, and that they're warlike people. All you gotta do is look through history. Just like this. I'll give you the last thing I'll give you. Look at Germany now. Germany is quiet as a mouse. It's quiet as a mouse. You don't hear nothing about Germany except for that they were doing austerity in Europe. They were doing better than everyone else because the systems that they started in terms of their government, they were doing better than everyone else in terms of not using austerity. But outside of that, when it comes to war and bombs and taking over the world, you don't hear that coming from Germany. Know why? Because those particular people left and went to Israel. So what do you hear in Israel? All you hear about is the same bombs, the same tanks, the same destroy and take over the world and kill people that you heard in Europe in the Holocaust. It's now in Israel. Because the people that were in Germany doing that are now in Israel. That's how you follow an MO. That's how you look at it and say, well, shit happened in Germany. Y'all say the German people were like this. They were being accused of this. The German people. It wasn't the German people. It was the same people that are in Israel now who were once in Germany and committing the same acts of genocide and Holocaust, genocide and war that they're committing in Israel. You see, that's how you follow MO. If you see that same bullshit going on in Ukraine, which is where the Zionists and the Orthodox Jews were. They were in Ukraine. A lot of people don't know that. Go look at Ukraine history. That part of Russia, and most of them were in Australia, Poland, and they were in Ukraine. They're there. The Ashkenazi Jews, they're in Ukraine. And and then you go look. So when you look at that particular noise, that's all you gotta do. Listen for the noise, because they make a lot of noise wherever they go. That's them. Thanks for listening once again. This is a small part of history, so you won't be tricked, fooled, beguiled, bamboozled, or hoodwinked.